And it is Flameflash.net, episode 87. Welcome. It strikes me, as I agree to you, that the backdrop here isn't going to be the same in a while, a month or two. All that back there will change. We'll be moving, most likely. We'll see. And that will probably cause the first block of time that we're not able to do a weekly podcast since we started. I'll hopefully give warning either on Twitter at Flameflash or on the blog flameflash.net when that is about to start so everybody can be aware. But let's get started with the Raptor Report on episode 87 because you can definitely tell it's no longer a holiday break. First up would be Jet Set Radio for the Vita. This definitely feels, smells, and looks like an old game revamped for a new system. If you can tell from my enthusiastic voice regarding it, I wasn't overly impressed. It felt like a Skater Die NES classic, but in 3D with even worse understanding of what the heck was going on. Might go back to it. I mean, it was kind of zen-ish getting through the very quick course. Easy trophies. We'll see. It might be one that gets deleted. Couple games that the kids played over this last week. I'm going to do something new, and I'm going to continue it, I believe. I'm going to skip those games that show up on the Raptor Report that I didn't actually touch. I don't have much to say about them because I didn't actually touch them. Persona 4, however, does show up on the Raptor Report, and that's all me. That is all me, and I am loving it. There was a minor lull in the story as you rescue the first character and move on to find out who the next character is that is going to have an issue. But now that we're into that point, I'm waiting with anticipation to see how much of a balance I now have to do between this high school life stuff that the main character is experiencing and the adventuring in the television world that the main character and the team are experiencing. It's a very interesting balance, the idea of actually balancing real life, quote unquote, big, quote unquote, versus otherworldly. Loving it. Have not had a chance to pick it up this week, but did play it on the weekend, which is why it's still on the Raptor Report. I'm loving it still. Sims 3 shows up. Holy crap. Red Flare designed that supernatural family for me. I finally got to play it. I moved them into a house that was pretty much ready built, but then added to it, tweaked it. The vampire needed their crypt, after all, in a basement under the garage, and gave them an elevator, private elevator. Why not? Vamps are usually rich, right? Amass wealth over the many, many years that they're immortal. The witch, ironically, lives in the loft of the garage. Since, I guess ironically is probably not the right word, but since the witches and vampires in some games don't get along very well, everybody seems scared of the vampire, which is funny. You don't get that same reaction from, say, the werewolf. And everybody kind of ignores the big pixie wings from the fairy. I believe I originally blasted Supernatural as being kind of a lame expansion, but when you pair it with uh, seasons like they apparently intended, it's fantastic. I am greatly looking forward to as it turns from summer to fall for the first time, and am looking forward to continuing to play with this particular family, along with exploring all of the aspects with my mundane groups of families that I still have. World of Warcraft shows up. Almost to 90 with a second character. Almost to 90 with that shaman. Mysteriously, my monk, level 20-something monk, got G-kicked. I'll just give a big shrug. They must be changing how they do things or something. Either that or they got ticked off with me dropping quasi-useless potions into the guild bank. I had no use for them. Didn't want them cluttering other places. They weren't going to sell in the auction house, so maybe somebody else would have use for them. Or not, I suppose. Oh well, they kept them, so they're out of my inventory at least. Other than that, I'm greatly looking forward to getting all 5 of my 85s, or higher, to Halfhill and starting farms. I am almost to the point of having 16 slots and having the full farm on my 90 druid. It's just a matter of logging in probably tonight and getting it, which is pretty cool. Pretty sizable accomplishment. And then it's on to attack the last 4 factions still waiting for me. Trying to focus on just one at a time this time, so I don't suffer from burnout. Cataclysm definitely gave me some burnout as far as that goes, but then Cataclysm also gave me tabards. Please give me some other way to raise reputation. I am so looking forward to 5.2 for that. I just hope that the gold sink for buying the farm isn't too high, because I'd like to do it. I'm at 80,000 gold, so it's not like that's a huge issue, but I like sitting on that much gold for when I come across awesome mounts, if I want to start raiding, that kind of thing. You can't raid or buy an awesome mount on fumes, after all. But with the Raptor report concluded, yeah, you can definitely tell it wasn't a holiday break. Let's move on to some of the FlameFlash.net news. So, first off, we're going to be linking, self-promoting, huzzah, Monk of Mists, .wordpress.net, or .com. I should probably just go and buy the Monk of Mists URL before somebody decides to steal it out from under me. But over there is a moves video. We've stopped posting music videos every Tuesday just because I don't have enough time at the moment to screen through them all that I have backlogged. So it's more when one of them moves me, or the timing is appropriate. I've scheduled one out for the week of Valentine's Day already, for instance. But the moves video, made by a fan, definitely shows some of the awesome things to come. If Blizzard is working on the dance studio, if they're working on retooling how characters look, you can sure bet they're also going to retool how they move. Go watch it. Go hit Monk of Mists. Check it out. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. A couple of people, or one in particular, responded kind of negatively to my praise in the YouTube comments, but oh well. It's a great video made by a fan who certainly has a day job. 5.2 Thunder King trailer. That island sitting off on the upper left-hand, upper left-hand for those viewing, corner of the Pandaria map finally gets fleshed out. It reeks of Ulduar. If you look at that thing, that is Ulduar. It is Uldum. It is Uldaman. All rolled into one, but slapped with a Mogu skin. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to see inside of it. I'll probably see inside of it as my shaman, oddly enough, just because Sun will want to go raid. And what better way to raid than with Raid Finder? Something we can just go, oh, time to go, drop group. 5.2 also is going to bring repairs to Stormwind and Orgrimmar finally. It looks like from the PTR right now. Awesome. Not the park. Not the park in Stormwind. That's, you know, as WoW Insider put it, sitting on a molten side of a cliff. No. Not going to happen. But the front of it, the front of both cities, no longer have the laborers. They just have the majestic looking towers again. Or the menacing towers, depending on which faction you are. Congratulations, my fellow players, by the way. 230,000 of us went out and supported Hurricane Sandy victim relief by buying the Cinder Kitten. That's pretty awesome right there. $2.3 million raised. Quite awesome. Congratulations. Speaking of the WoW store, also the Swift Windsteed is now available. This is the first mount that I haven't gone, oh, that's cool in some way. It's a flying goat on a cloud. A goat on a cloud. I'll wait for next year's Christmas sale. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. But it's definitely one that I'll wait for a sale on. It's not cool enough. It's not a sparkle pony. Leaving the world of Warcraft, let's talk about another MMO for a moment. Terra. This one is a skill-based MMO, is my understanding. A skill-based, scantily clad MMO. So the female computer models are extra lacking in pants, unlike some of the original vanilla plaint-wearing warriors. And otherwise, there's a lot of the player actually choosing when to dodge, when to use your abilities, etc. This is all hearsay because I've never actually touched it, but it's going free to play. I might at least look at it. It's M-rated though, which really turns me off from it, which probably is why not as many people play it as, say, WoW, or Knights of the Old Republic, or DCU Online. But it's still something to look at. Something to give a shot. I've given Rift a shot. I've given Star Wars a shot. I've given DCUO a shot. I might as well give Terra a shot. Probably an unimpressed one, but it's still a shot. Drumroll? Nah. I am excited about this next bit. Sims 3 University Life expansion has been announced. Go check out that trailer. Doesn't it feel like the old Sims 2 University pack? Now, I have some wariness with this because we already have the young adult age bracket in Sims 3. I discussed some of the other wariness pieces, such as, moving out. I don't want to do that. That's not fun for me. Moving out, no. And no, I'm not saying, as myself. I'm saying as a sim, because once you move out, all those other sims are autonomous. You're just following your sim around. So when they call home, it's all autonomous. All the social upkeep, the house that you probably invested quite a lot of time into, gone. Anonymous. Autonomous. Anonymous. PS3. So, University Life expansion's coming. I feel like that really cinches the deal for The Sims 3. I bet we start hearing about a Sims 4 at E3, since this University comes in March, and what would come after that? Oh, Sims 4. I'll be avoiding Sims 4, thank you very much. We have spent a lot of money in Sims 3, and I think we're getting our money's worth out of it. I just don't see a reason to go to 4. It must knock me out of my chair with being impressed to get me to invest in Sims 4. Anyway, PlayStation 3, we're promised, we North American users, that a store web interface is on its way. Hallelujah! I've wanted to go to the PlayStation and grab the PlayStation Plus Mega Man 9 and 10. I just haven't had the chance. Been a busy week. First full week after the holidays. Haven't had the chance. This would let me go from here and grab it while the television's busy. Because the only time it's not busy is, well, not very regularly. Somebody is usually using it. We only have one. I insist we only have one active one. We have a CRT up in a room that's never used. But with only one, gets used a lot. Not that that's a bad thing. News, DVDs, Netflix, etc. Video games. Why I can do the Raptor Report. Nintendo is announcing a 3D Pokemon finally for the 3DS. Pokemon, well, of course the 3DS. What else? Pokemon XY. So one of the cartridges will be X, one of the cartridges will be Y, and won't have the same Pokemon between the two, so you'll have to go trade. I liked Pokemon Black and White, but I think I'm done with the franchise. I think I've outgrown it. When RPGs like Persona, which give you that Pokemon feel in one aspect of the game, steal me away with a much more engaging story, I have no desire to go back to Pokemon and finish. If I had been able to transfer from the original Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance and move on from there, I probably would still be interested. Because I had almost all of them at the time. At the time. Oh well. Other generations are interested. Lego Marvel Heroes. You've seen them in the stores already. You saw them in the toy aisles during this Christmas rush. Well, now they get their own Lego video game. Good for them. Good for Marvel side of things. But hey, we're tapping into Disney now, folks. If the Lego video game developer now has a line in at Disney, where will it end? Holy crap. We could so easily see some kind of Disney princess Lego video game, which scares the crap out of me, honestly, but it's possible. It's possible. We're going to go tech for a moment. Slight tech, shopping too, I suppose. Amazon is now introducing a service called Amazon Auto Rip. So if you buy a physical CD from Amazon, they will rip and give it to you on their cloud service as well. Cool. I like it. The only awkward thing is some of our stuff's been ordered on my account and some of the stuff's been ordered on Red Flare's account. Oh well. We're mostly on Red Flare's account at this point, so that's okay. And full disclosure, FlameFlash.net is an affiliate of Amazon. So please go click that link before you shop at Amazon. It helps. Last but not least, books. I will probably rearrange things in the future. But how about a Goodreads report? Actually, before that, I skipped a piece of bad news. There was that California school shooting. One person in critical condition was my understanding, at least the last time I looked. And they have the shooter in custody. I just hope that this means we might be able to understand why and learn from the shooter as opposed to pointing blame at inanimate objects. Because my guess is that this kid was mentally disturbed, just like everybody else who does something like this. And that's the reason why. Just saying. Maybe we need to stop mocking those that feel a little nuts and start offering our help. That's what I have to say about that. But the Goodreads report. Over on the left side of FlameFlash.net is that little Goodreads bar. It's usually empty. I've been playing Persona. I don't need a book. But Red Flare and I started reading A Memory of Light, which is the final book in the Wheel of Time series. The series is very significant to us. For instance, I have my druid. The name there is Anienda. Where'd that come from? Where indeed? But Red Flare also introduced me to this series. Holding it up for the camera. Yay! Angel Burn. Book 1. Really interesting concept. I'm already on page 140, which is why I'm not doing this as early as it originally intended. But a good book. It breaks the one rule that I was always taught of stay in one point of view, so it keeps shifting from first person to third person. But aside from that little big problem, now that I've gotten over it, I've really started enjoying the book. A very good book. So, the Goodreads report and recommendation, go pick up A Memory of Light, or the entire Wheel of Time series, if you haven't even touched that yet, and then Angel Burn. So follow on Twitter and you'll get those little notifications as they happen. At FlameFlash. With that said, podcast at flameflash.net, since I've pushed the Twitter enough, should get you your email on the show. We don't get a lot of emails, so why not? That being said, do keep it PG, whatever the question might be. So, I bid you adieu. This has been episode 87 of the FlameFlash.net podcast. Find us on Raptor. RIP tr.com/flameflash for all your gaming profile information tidbits. Until next week.